Hello and welcome to Glanbia's Dairy Focus. In this episode, we'll briefly discuss using footbaths to control lameness during the housing in both milking and dry dairy cows. With the cows going into the housing now, it's very important to keep an eye on the underfoot conditions for cows. Wet, mucky areas, unhygienic conditions, build-up of muck in the shed and in the collecting yard can really have a detrimental effect on lameness in the herd. This is because the wet conditions can soften the cow's feet, making it more prone to damage, but also that there is bacteria in the muck that will actually cause infectious type lameness. Something like a mortellaro or digital dermatitis or slurry heel would be typical examples of an infectious type lameness. Now, footbaths can play a very crucial role in preventing those types of lameness. Not only do they keep the cow's feet clean, but they can also contain a disinfectant solution that will actually reduce the level of bacterial load and reduce the effect that these infections can have on the cows. So this is a standard size footbath which most herds can use, and this would probably, when it's full, allow for about 150-200 cows to pass through 2 milkings. So a standard protocol for footbaths would be 3 non-consecutive days every 3 weeks, for example, and that would typically work for a herd that actually doesn't have any lameness issues. And you could use products such as copper sulfate, or you could use some premixed products, something like a heel max or a hoof or something along those lines, with their own concentrations and sometimes treatment frequencies as well. If lameness is a bigger issue in your herd, step up the frequency, maybe do it more frequent in the sense that still 3 non-consecutive days, but maybe every fortnight or even every week if you really suffer. Now, in herds where individual cows are very much affected by these types of lamenesses, maybe using something like this, like a little spray bottle that you can actually target individual cows at every milking, it can be very handy, and you don't have to run all the cows through footbaths all the time. Don't forget that obviously once cows are dried off, you still need to be mindful of their lameness development and their underfoot hygiene conditions. So maybe once a week when you're doing the footbaths, run the dry cows through that footbath as well, if the solution is still clean, obviously. And don't forget the pregnant heifers. To keep the solution cleaner for longer, consider either hosing the cow's feet in the parlour before they go into the footbaths, or add in a second footbath which contains just water, or maybe water and a bit of fairy liquid, that will actually clean the cow's feet, then leave a gap in the crush, and then put in the treatment solution footbath. The gap will allow cows to actually dung between the 2 footbaths, keeping both footbaths cleaner for longer, and by cleaning the cow's feet first, softening up the dirt that's on them, the second solution can work more effectively. Recordings of our recent Living Proof webinars are available on the YouTube channel, so feel free to watch those if you want. If you want any more information on the topic covered in this episode, please talk to your local Glanbia representative or log on to glanbiaconnect.com.